We often think the apocalypse will arrive from the sky, an asteroid, a solar flare, or perhaps a plague. But the terrifying truth is, we built the tools to bring about the end ourselves. Throughout the history of military conflict, a gun has never been just a steel tube and gunpowder. There are weapons born not to win a single battle, but to erase entire generations. There are weapons that redrew the geopolitical map, and there is one gun, quite literally, designed to fire a nuclear apocalypse. Today, forget about your standard sidearms or sporting rifles. We are stepping into the realm of mechanical monsters. These are the three weapons with the most devastating power, the most brutal legacies ever forged by human hands. Welcome to the Chronicles of Destruction. Before the 19th century, war was an art of formation. Men stood in lines, fired a single shot, reloaded, and charged with bayonets. It was brutal, yes, but it had limits. The limit of killing was the fatigue of the human muscle. But then, the Industrial Revolution arrived. Just as steam engines replaced horses, automatic mechanisms replaced human fingers. We began to industrialize death. Today, I am going to tell you the stories of three specific milestones in this grim evolution. First, the machine that ended the age of the knight and turned the battlefield into a meat grinder. Second, the greatest adversary of the American military, a symbol of global insurrection that refuses to die. Third, a true monster, the only cannon in history capable of deleting a city with a single trigger pull. Let's begin with a weapon known as the Devil's Paintbrush. The year is 1884. Hiram Maxim, an American inventor living in London, had an idea that bordered on madness. He observed that when a rifle was fired, the recoil, the kickback, was wasted energy that just bruised the soldier's shoulder. Maxim asked himself, why waste that power? And so, the Maxim gun was born. It was the world's first true, fully automatic machine gun. It harnessed the explosive energy of the fired round to eject the spent shell, load a new one, and fire again. A continuous, self-sustaining loop of death. Imagine the horror of the world at that time. Before the Maxim, a skilled soldier could fire maybe 3 rounds a minute. With the Maxim, 600 rounds per minute. It possessed the firepower of an entire platoon condensed into a single mechanical beast. But the true destruction of the Maxim wasn't just in the numbers. It was in how it shattered the human spirit. Fast forward to July 1st, 1916, the Battle of the Somme, World War I. Thousands of British soldiers climbed out of their trenches, confident that their artillery had silenced the German lines. But they were wrong. On the other side, the German MG-08s, variants of the Maxim design, were waiting. When the whistle blew, the soldiers didn't march into war. They marched into an execution. Within a single day, the British Army suffered nearly 60,000 casualties. No courage, no honor, no strategy could overcome that wall of lead. The Maxim gun destroyed the old world, the world of chivalry, of cavalry charges, and colorful uniforms. It forced humanity underground, creating trench warfare and turning Europe into a vast graveyard. This was the weapon that taught us our first hard lesson. Technology without morality leads only to catastrophe.
If the Maxim gun was the industrialization of death, this second weapon represents the democratization of destruction. It is the Automat Kalashnikov, model of 1947, the legendary AK-47. Why do I include the AK-47 in a list of world destroyers? It isn't the fastest firing, it isn't the most accurate, but it does something that no American or Western weapon could match. It works. Always. Mikhail Kalashnikov, its creator, designed it with loose tolerances. The internal parts don't fit together tightly like a Swiss watch. They have gaps. Why? So that sand, mud, water, and blood can enter and be shaken right back out without jamming the mechanism. In terms of gun culture, the AK-47 is the antimatter to the West. During the Vietnam War, American GIs clutching their high-tech M16s that jammed in the jungle grime looked across the battle lines with fear and envy. That distinctive clattering crack of the AK became the soundtrack of the 20th century. The AK-47's destructive power lies in the statistics. It is estimated that over 100 million units have been produced. It has killed more people than the atomic bomb. It has killed more people than modern plagues. It has toppled governments, redrawn borders in Africa, the Middle East, and Eastern Europe. It transforms an untrained farmer into a lethal combatant in less than 1 hour. The AK-47 destroyed the idea of a stable world order, placing the power of devastating violence into the hands of anyone with $50 and a grudge. It is a slow-burning destruction that has lasted for over 70 years.
But if you want to talk about destruction in the literal sense, if you want a single shot that can vaporize life within a massive radius, the Maxim and the AK are merely toys. Let's go back to the 1950s. The Cold War is at its peak. The United States needed a tactical deterrent, not a bomber flying high above, but a gun, a piece of artillery that could be deployed right on the ground. The result was M65 atomic cannon. Picture a steel monster weighing 83 tons. It was so massive it required 2 specially designed tractors, one pulling the front, one pushing the rear, just to navigate corners like a gigantic fire truck. The barrel was over 40 feet long, with a 280-millimeter bore. But the terror lies in the shell. It fired the W9 nuclear warhead with a yield of 15 kilotons. To put that in perspective, that is roughly the same power as Little Boy, the bomb dropped on Hiroshima. May 25, 1953, Nevada Proving Ground, Operation Upshot Knot Hole. The M65 roared, a sound that tore the sky apart. The shell flew 7 miles downrange and detonated. A genuine, terrifying mushroom cloud rose from the desert floor. It remains the first and only time in human history that a cannon has fired a live nuclear weapon. Why is the M65 so terrifying? Because it blurred the line between conventional warfare and nuclear annihilation. It turned a weapon of mass destruction into something that could drive down a highway. Fortunately, missile technology eventually rendered the M65 obsolete. But its existence is a testament to a chilling fact. When fear takes over, humanity is willing to build guns that can pull the sky down upon our own heads. From the relentless speed of the Maxim gun to the unyielding spread of the AK-47, and finally, the absolute power of Atomic Annie. 3 guns, 3 eras, but one conclusion. Guns are not just weapons. They are mirrors reflecting human ambition, human fear, and our capacity for ruin. History has proven the more powerful the weapon, the more fragile the peace. But understanding the history of these machines helps us value the days when the guns are silent. If you found this briefing valuable, hit that like button and subscribe. Which gun in history do you think is more terrifying than these three? Leave your thoughts in the comments below. I read every single one. For now, this is ArmX signing off. See you in the next dossier.